Hey guys, and welcome back once again to I Like Watches. It's Monday the 4th of July, almost 7:30 in the evening, and I've got three brand new Duxot watches to unbox and share with you my first impressions. Have you ever heard of Duxot watches? What about Duxot? Maybe Duxot? No, I hadn't either. They sound a little bit Swiss made, don't they? But they're not. They even look a little bit Swiss made. They're based in Hong Kong, and they do own the name. They've trademarked it. It's all legitimate. But yeah, I'd never heard of them. That was until Harvey from Parkland Printing and Graphics, which is the firm that printed the warranty cards for the Exciton 2. Harvey's also a patron. He got in touch with me a little while ago, sent me an email and said, I've just bought myself, this is how he typed, I've just bought myself a Duxot from ashford.com for between $100 and $150, I think it was. I took a look, and sure enough, they were between $100 and $150. But I hesitated. I paused, and then they put the prices back up to around $400. So I was out. I waited a couple of months, and the prices dropped back down again to around $100 to $150. And a little bit like those Recraft Seikos I unboxed recently, I couldn't decide which one I wanted. They all looked pretty good, actually. So I bought three of them, and I'll decide whether or not I'm going to review them once I've unboxed them. I haven't taken a sneaky peek even. So in this video, you're going to see me unbox these three watches, share with you my first impressions. You can let me know what you think of them in the comments section. I'll also put some affiliate links in the video description because I do have an affiliate scheme with ashford.com. It's the same one as Joma Shop. I've got to say I prefer ashford.com. I've bought quite a few watches from ashford.com and Joma Shop, and ashford.com always have the watches in stock. Whereas Joma Shop, a couple of times, they've just not had the watches, and I've had to wait weeks and weeks and weeks, or they've just cancelled the order. A bit weird, isn't it? Anyway, you won't get any of that from ashford.com, not as far as I'm concerned anyway. Right, I'm waffling now. Let's just take a look at these watches, shall we? Right, here is the first one, and I can tell you these boxes are so heavy. Let's take a look and see what we've got. I mean, the packaging does seem impressive. It certainly does have a bit of a Swiss sort of look to it, this colour red. Oh, come on, there you come. Wow, okay, that is quite a chunky, heavy box. Oh my gosh, what? These watches were just over $100. That's ridiculous. Oh, look at that. I think this was actually my favourite one. Yeah, when I saw them online, I think I was gravitating towards this all red chronograph. I mean, the box isn't exactly beautifully refined, but that's impressive, isn't it, for a $100 and something watch? Oh, all right, well, that's the first sign, isn't it? There's the tag for this one. DX2028-22. I have to say the finishing on the case is pretty good. The bracelet's very, very jangly, but the links look solid. It's fully brushed. Everything seems to be brushed. Yeah, the clasp is a real letdown. Female end links. End link fit seems actually okay. 100 meters of water resistance, stainless steel, Japanese quartz movement. So this will be a quartz chronograph. Right, I'm a little bit confused. I thought they would turn and lock, but they don't. You can see screw thread on these pushers, look, but they just push in. The chronograph is at the 6 o'clock, and then you've got minutes for the chronograph, and then is that a 24-hour subdial? Let's have a little look. Yep, 24-hour subdial at the 3 o'clock. Quite a nice colour, actually. Aluminium bezel insert. Obviously, it's not a rotating bezel because it's a tachymeter. Date at the 4:30 position. Not particularly legible, is it? Right, let's give it a quick blast with the loom torch so we can see it in all its glory. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Ah. Okay, here is number 2. I've just taken all the plastic off. I've done nothing else other than that because it's quartz again, and the second hand alignment is pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, that's impressive. Sort of diver chrono combination. 200 meters of water resistance. It's bigger. It's definitely bigger. Oh, I mean, decent AR coating there as well. Look, I mean, the loom pip looks a bit off, doesn't it? Oh dear, that's a bit wobbly. It's had a few beers the night before. These are screw down pushers, look. Okay, nice. So they do push down Start again at the 6 o'clock, stop, reset. What have we got? I can't see because the hands are in the way. We've got a 60-minute sub-dial at the 9, and again another 24-hour sub-dial at the 3. Let's wind in the crown because it is a 200-meter diver. Diver's bezel. Oh, wow. Oh, that's actually quite nice. End links. Oh, solid. Okay, this one's looking a little bit better. Female end links again, solid. 5-link bracelet, fully brushed. Push pins again, same clasp I would expect. I mean, this clasp looks a bit feeble on this watch. In fact, the whole bracelet looks a touch too small for this case, doesn't it? I mean, that is a fairly chunky case. But actually, an improvement, I think. Surprisingly, if it was a bit smaller, I think it would definitely be a big improvement. But it is quite a bit bigger than the other one. Where's the other one? Yeah, that's quite a bit bigger, isn't it? That is sapphire crystal. Incredible. Let me check the other one again. No, that's not sapphire, but this one is. Right, let's give this one a quick lume test, a quick blast with the lume torch. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and oh, I mean, just as bad, isn't it? Right, here is the third and final watch. I've taken all the plastic off, put some power into this Seagull automatic movement, this one. Move the hands out the way so that we can have a good look at this dial. You've got the power reserve indicator at the 12 o'clock look. The running seconds hand at the 6 o'clock, all the print across the centre of the dial. That's quite interesting, isn't it? It's a bit substantial, a bit like the second one I've just shown you, but actually sort of suits the style of watch. Again, lots of AR coating. Let's check the crystal. Is it sapphire? I suspect it will be. This is one of their more expensive watches. Yeah, sapphire crystal. Case finishing does look pretty good. The bracelet is nicer than the other ones. Less jangle, and yeah, the links are very solid. Push pins again. Butterfly clasp, not ideal, but of course the advantage of these is a nice continuation throughout the whole bracelet. End link fit is a little bit of movement, but not much. Female end links, large-ish watch, but female end links will certainly aid with wearability. The crown is not a screw-down crown. What's the water resistance? 100 meters. Right, let's test the lume on this one then. Is it any better than the previous two? Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Well, the dial loom looks better. The hands still shockingly bad, aren't they? Definitely better, but still not great. Right, here's the first one then on my 7¼ inch-ish wrist. It's the one I like the look of the most, but I think has the weakest specifications. I also think it is the cheapest, which makes sense. Super white subdials with a black date wheel is a strange one, and the logo on the dial looks an almost sort of dark titanium steel, but I do like the sort of burgundy red colours. They match reasonably well, and the finishing on the steel is pretty good, I've got to say. I haven't got any complaints with the finishing. Strange decision to put thread on the pushers. That's an odd one, because for a few minutes I was wrestling with those, thinking that they screwed down or unscrewed, but they don't. The seconds hand is sort of aligned. It's a little bit off, isn't it? But for the money, when you think it's just over $100, you don't get much for just over $100 these days. So it does actually represent reasonable value for money. But $400, you've got to be joking. Here's the second one then. This is the 200-meter diver chrono. It is a touch top heavy because the case is stainless steel and it's quite large, and the bracelet is not particularly large. It tapers, and the clasp is, although it's milled actually, this one. On this watch it was pressed, but this has a milled fold-over clasp, apart from the outer shell which is pressed, but still not a huge amount of weight in this bracelet, so the weight isn't particularly well distributed. For bigger wrists it might be absolutely fine. I think it's a bit too chunky for my wrist. It sort of swamps my wrist a little bit, doesn't it? But yeah, I quite like the look of it. The dial's interesting. The date wheel, or the date complication at the 4:30-ish position, again, not particularly legible, but they've put a nice little circular frame around it. That's pretty cool. The loom on these is dreadful. Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing that tends to get sacrificed on super affordable watches. They've obviously focused their money on things like steel finishing, which is pretty good considering the price. And some of the specifications as well. Two of these watches have sapphire crystal. One of them's automatic. Yeah, so some of the specifications are strong, and some of them are not so strong. And here's the third and final watch on my 7¼ inch-ish wrist. I actually managed to get a half decent fit. No micro adjusts, no half links, no divers extension. So very little flexibility or leeway when it comes to getting a fit. But look, I mean, that looks pretty decent to me. I've just got lucky. You're either lucky or you're not. In terms of comfort, it's more comfortable than the previous one because the weight is better distributed throughout the whole wrist. This bracelet is definitely more substantial and more chunky. So, yeah, it spreads the weight out much better around your wrist. I don't mind this one, actually. In terms of appearance, I think I do prefer this red one and then this one and then this one. But in terms of quality, I think that 200-meter diver to some degree, although there's a few issues with it, isn't there? Maybe this one. I don't know, it's fairly close between those two. Right guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you as always for watching. I do really appreciate it. And please don't forget to let me know in the comment section what I should do with these watches. Are they worthy of a full review, any of them? None of them are jumping out at me at the moment. And don't forget, it takes around 15 hours to produce a full review. So yeah, I'm leaning towards no, but yeah, let me know in the comments section. Right, take care, look after yourselves. You'll see me again very soon.